because I'm going to have half of you ask me once we finish, like, is this recorded? And now I can say yes. All right. So selling without selling. The reason I call this is if you all have ever seen Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, there is a scene where this guy tries to fight him. He asked him what was his style. And he said his style is the art of fighting without fighting. And then he went on to mentally beat this guy up without laying a finger on him. It's actually one of the dopest scenes of the movie. So selling without selling is, I want you to be able to sell your service, your product, without actually pitching and trying to convince people that this is the thing for them. But we're going to have a conversation to where we investigate what's going on with them and actually solve the problem. And if you solve the problem, it'll sell itself. And I guarantee you that. So what do potential clients buy first? What's the first thing that they have to buy before you make a dollar? And that's you. So people do business with who they like, know, and trust. You will hear that every day if you participate on Alignable a lot. And it is a very true statement. So within your own process, how do you get people to like, know, and trust you? What part of your customer journey do you address these things? And who are you when you show up for these interactions? So I want you to be authentic. I want you to be you. When you are your authentic self, you have no competition. We all, as professionals, as entrepreneurs, look for ways to differentiate ourselves from the competition, as they say. So we spend so much time looking for ways to say things differently. And at the same time, we follow all of the trends. We get right in the box where they say, so if I'm a life coach, I try to look and act and dress like a life coach. And I try to do all the things that make me look the part. But in doing that removes our authenticity, because now we're trying to be everybody else. So if you're trying to be everybody else, you're going to look like everybody else. Therefore, there is no differentiation. So instead of going down that rabbit hole, if you are simply you 100% of the time, there's your differentiation. So now the only thing that you have to do is be you, and you've already separated yourself from everybody else. There's no need to say, here's what's different about me than everybody else. All you have to do is be you, and they'll see it. So when we talk about authenticity, being aware, knowing about yourself is the key of it. Who am I? What do I represent? What am I about? And if somebody asks me my opinion on something, can I give my opinion without worrying about how they'll react to it? Right? Can I live my own experience? Right? Behavior, act in accordance with self-knowledge. So actually move within the confines of what you know. If you have spent any time on Instagram, you have seen the pretenders, and they're everything. They're doctors and lawyers, and they've never been to school. They've been entrepreneurs, and they say they have $50 million in revenue, and they've never sold anything. So there are so many people who create this facade just to try to sell stuff, and it falls apart. If that's your foundation in building your brand, it's going to fall to pieces eventually, because that's not you. And the more that you're trying to be somebody else, everybody can see through it. Everybody can see that that's fake. So let's not do that. Additionally, unbiased processing, right? Seeing yourself objectively. Can you look outside of yourself and say, okay, I need to work on these things. I need to improve in these ways. And lastly, relational orientation, right? Being genuine in relationships. Who show up as yourself. So when you go out and you're meeting people and you create this persona, everybody likes the persona. They don't necessarily like you because that's not what you're showing. But when you show up authentically, now you know they really like you. They've connected with you. And now you don't have to do weird research to try to fit in or become a student of other people's behavior in order to be accepted. So just be yourself 100% of the time, and it benefits your personal brand and your corporate brand as you move along. So it all starts with being authentic. So if you need to believe in something, start with yourself. And it's super important. How you view yourself determines everything. How do you see yourself, and what does your mind consistently tell you about you? It is very, very difficult to sell anything if you don't believe you can do it. So you have to overcome that part in your mind first. There's a book called Limitless by Jim Quick. And in the book, he talks about, he calls it ants, automatic negative thoughts. So if you have these automatic negative thoughts every time you try to do something, you're in your own way, and this is going to stop the entire process. So believing in yourself, having a clear and positive self-image gives you something to build on when you go into these unfamiliar territories. When it's time to have this conversation, you have to know that you can do it. And this is why we study and grow and read all the books and get coaching, so that our view of ourselves is number one, accurate, but that is something that we can believe in and follow through with. So when we talk about our self-image and our ideal self, the best version of us, there has to be some congruency. So if your self-image is super negative and your ideal self is Superman, then that's not going to balance out. You're going to be in a negative mindset all the time. So when you enter these difficult conversations or a sales environment, you're going to question yourself more than a potential customer is questioning you. And that's internally toxic. You can't, because you won't be able to move past what's going on in your head. Therefore, you're sabotaging this opportunity internally before you even get an opportunity to get the actual client. So let's not do that. Let's make sure that we're looking at ourselves in a good light. Let's make sure that there's some congruency in who we are and what we represent. That way, in us being authentic, it feels good 100% of the time. And now we're always putting our best foot forward. And this enables us to properly assess our value. Your own self-worth determines everything. If you set a price for your service and somebody goes, that's too much, and then you lower your price, then you do not value what you do, number one. And the price that you had, you didn't believe in. Therefore, you didn't believe in your product. Therefore, you didn't believe in your process. Therefore, you did not believe in yourself. So the price is the price. And if you have set that price based on value, you are very confident in saying, this is what I charge. When it's time to pick up clients and you understand your own worth, your own self-worth, now there is congruence between the price of the service and your self-worth and everything that you put into building your business, you can say with confidence that this is the price. So all of these things go together, and it all starts with you and how you view yourself. So value is probably the most important aspect of sales. Perceived value when we're talking about marketing. How does the world look at you and your product, and what do they value it? And now we can start this conversation, because if their value and your self-worth matches, client, if there is incongruence in this conversation, then now we got to go back and forth, and there's a debate or some kind of weird negotiation. So let's not put ourselves in that position and understand what we bring to the table. So a lot of you have a great deal of experience. You are experts at what you do. You've been doing it for over 5 years, and 10,000 hours is the average. So now if we add all the YouTube videos, all the books you've read, the trainings that you've gone through, dope webinars like this, add that to it, right? Getting an actual coach, that takes you your level of knowledge way, way up. And if you have less than 5 years in, you probably have more than 5 years of experience just based on how you educate yourself. So be the expert. So when you are the expert, that means I know way more about this than you do. So let me help you. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to explain to you how I know what I know. I'm the expert. I understand my self-worth. I know who I am with my ideal self. I know how much work I put into this. I am comfortable and confident in what I do. Now let me help you solve this problem. And this is how we have confidence in ourselves. Confidence is the key to selling. and like I said at the beginning, you have to, if you're going to believe in something, believe in yourself. And more importantly, if you don't believe in you, how can the client believe in you? So you have to be confident in your ability. I like this definition. Let me read this definition to you. The feeling that you
Excuse me,
trust.
are you sharing your screen? We are not able to see your screen.
You can't see my screen?
No.
I can see your screen.
I see your screen.
We see your screen.
I see the screen.
I can see it.
Oh, okay.
I can't see anything.
I can see it.
I
can
see it.
That's weird. Hold on. Let's
I can also see it.
For those of you who can't see it,
just getting out
that
and
sounds like a
coming back in.
connectivity issue.
Can you share your slides? I haven't seen your screen. Can you please share your screen slides from the beginning?
Yeah, I was sharing the screen the whole time. So some of you can see it and some of you can't. That's the new problem. I've never seen that. Okay, so let me share now and let's see if everybody gets it.
Can you share the screens from the beginning?
Well, hold on a second. Let's jump back in. That's weird. That's a brand new problem. Okay.
That's on their end.
Can you all see it now?
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
you're fine.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that was weird. Okay. So let's jump back into it. So the feeling that you can trust, believe in, and be sure about the abilities or good quality of somebody or something. So shouldn't you have that kind of confidence in yourself? Shouldn't you believe in your own abilities, your own good qualities that you bring to the table? Before we get into the product or service.
Excuse me, I
Yeah.
lost you when whatever you did, I lost you.
Okay, let's hold it to the end. Let me make it through. Can anybody see it now? Can majority of you see it now?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let
Yes.
us run through it this time, and then we'll figure out what was going on with the other people.
I
If
think
you're
this-
going to tape it and send it out, then we'll all see it later.
Yeah, great answer, Craig. Yeah, but it is recorded. All right. So we're talking about confidence. So I want you to be confident in yourself, and so when you're giving a presentation and half the people can't see your screen, you don't lose your mind and shut down. You can just keep going, right? So confidence is very, very important. It's important that you believe in you. It's important that you understand that everything that it took for you to get to this point, well, all the education, all the schooling, all the experience that you have got you here. And that means that you know way more about your area of focus than the person that is your potential client. So be confident in that fact. So all of that is cool, but what problem are we trying to solve, right? So you can have all the confidence in the world. If you're not actually helping me, then what's the point of it? So this is why when we talk about being an expert, what problems are you an expert at solving? So when you talk about this, nobody cares about your schooling and how much experience you have, but they do care about what problems you can solve for them. How can you make life easier for me? So when we talk about putting out content and connecting with people, these are the things that we talk about. And that pulls people in once they say, hey, I got that problem. And now they want to hear more. And how you explain the problem and how you interact with them so where they can see that you understand how that problem affects them, then they're ready to have a deeper conversation with you. So who has the problem? So when we talk about who has the problem consistently, this is now your target market. So there are a group of people who have this problem that you are an expert at solving all the time. So these are the people that you talk to. These are the people you talk to in your content. These are the people that you're looking for at networking events. And hey, if you got this problem, I'm an expert at solving. So when we look at your market, my market, everyone's market, 30% of the market wouldn't take it if it was free. Whatever it is that you have, they don't want it. An additional 30% just aren't interested. So that leaves 60% of the market who will not do business with you, no matter how pretty your website is. No matter how great you are and personable, they just don't want to do business with you. Fine. That leaves 30% of the market who are interested, but not right now. 7% are very open to buying, and 3% are looking for you, They're looking for exactly what you have. And soon as they make that connection, shut up and take my money. So that leaves 40% of the market that you're talking to. And I want you to be confident in these numbers, because that 40% is more than enough. You know, majority of us, social media has taught us that we need millions of views and clicks and likes and shares and comments, and we really, really don't. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a sales strategist and a coach. I can only handle about 20 clients at a time, comfortably. So I don't need to generate millions of comments and views. You know, I just need to talk to my tribe, and my tribe is within that 40%. And in that 40%, they all have the problem that I'm an expert at solving. So once we make that connection, it's an easier conversation. So now we just start the conversation and we interact. I know what what problems I can solve. I'm confident in myself. I know who I am. I know what I represent, and I can navigate this world authentically. Now that I'm moving authentically, I'm going to naturally attract the right kind of people who have this problem that I can start building relationships with. Once we get into this conversation, it's just a matter of making sure that we connect. And I don't mean superficially, like I sent you a connection request and then we never speak again. I mean connect. You know, let's have a conversation about who you are as a person. Let's talk core values. Let's talk about life, you know, so that I know that you aren't everybody else. And as we have this conversation, I understand that you get me and you understand how this problem affects me. You know, so this is why we do the assessment, right? So let's identify the problems, because if they have one problem that you can solve, they probably got 7 or 8 others that you can solve too. And let's make that a part of the conversation. In having this conversation, be yourself, be authentic, and be that expert. When you are the expert, you are not asking them their opinion about what they think they need. If they knew that, they wouldn't need you, who's the expert. They can solve the problem themselves. So when you identify the problem, we're not giving them options. We're giving them, here's the solution. Here's my expert opinion about what you should do about this problem, and be confident in what you're saying because you have all of the experience and education. And then lead them through the conversation, right? So you should have a customer journey in your mind of here's where we start. Here are the things that we need to touch on within the conversation. And as you have that conversation, you will collect all the information you need to solve the problem. If you're doing that conversationally, it should not feel like you're selling at all. You're not even talking about the pitch or here are all the bells and whistles and benefits of doing business with me. You know, you're simply solving the problem. So don't sell. Be honest, show empathy, always listen. Most importantly, solve the problem. If you legitimately go into these conversations with the intentions of helping, then that cuts all of the objections, right? If you are getting objections within the conversation, then you're trying to settle, as opposed to simply them asking questions about the details of how you're going to help them and what about this part and what about this part. But if they're asking you like, so what's so great about you as opposed to somebody else, then you lost them somewhere in that conversation and you weren't helping them. You were just trying to sell some stuff. So actually help them and follow this acronym, and it will guide you through the next steps. Have an actual customer journey and being comfortable to know that I know what the next step is before I get there makes the conversation runs that much smoother. And in doing that, you will be selling without selling. And this is how you get customers. And this is the whole transition of making the whole thing go together in a way that's super organic. And more importantly, it feels good to you and the potential customer at the same time. All right. Thank you. That is the end of it. Let me stop the share. Hit the reaction button and raise your hand if you got any questions. We still have 30 minutes left for questions. All right. No questions? I mean, I explained it perfectly. Oh, wait a minute, here goes the question. Susan.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I am an artist, and so what I want to do is sell my paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what problem I'm solving, because art is not like food you need to eat. It's like
Art is food for the soul.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think right off rip, what I'm hearing is that you're looking at your art as if it's a product, as opposed to something that can help. So if we look at your art as far as just from a design standpoint, somebody is designing an office. Could your art help in that design
yes,
aesthetically, right?
yes.
So what about from a emotional standpoint? Does your art give a feeling that makes people feel better?
Yes, yes.
Right.
it
So
can.
that just gave us two different target audiences, right? So now what designers, what interior decorators can we connect with that can benefit from connecting with you with as an actual artist? Most interior decorators, they don't know anything about art. So now they have access to you and they have access to your art. That makes their job easier, especially from a feng shui standpoint.
Oh, yeah, it does. Because they need to put something on the wall.
Mm-hmm. So if your art and the pieces that you've created gives the feeling that they were trying to convey within that room, now you're valuable.
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
that help?
Yeah, it does. It does help. Thank
Awesome.
you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Gabrielle.
Hi, can you give an example of what the conversation would look like when you're not trying to sell, but you're actually just trying to be genuine? Because I feel like I struggle with that, with just having that conversation.
What do you do?
Course creation.
Course creation. What kind of courses?
I basically work with coaches to help them create courses to build passive income within their business.
Okay. So when you're talking to a coach, what problems are they having that this course solves?
Most of the time is that they're trying to scale their business, but they just don't have the time to take on more clients. So they're looking for another stream of revenue.
Okay. So they don't have the time to create the course themselves, but they already recognize that this helps build revenue. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the conversation goes, okay, you have all of this material and content, and what are you doing with it? Every day that's just sitting there and it's not a part of a course and it's not earning, then what's the point of it? So you're wasting time and money, and you're actually losing money because these courses aren't available. But more importantly, for coaches, at the end of the day, they want to help people. So if people can't afford their the coaching themselves, the one-on-one coaching, now here's another avenue for them to connect with people. So as you ask questions about what they need and what they're trying to do, the people that they're trying to reach, the people that they're trying to help, that pushes that conversation to make that course that much more important. Gotcha. So what I need you to do is some research on the impact of a course on the average coaching business. How much revenue does it actually help with? How many opportunities does that give them to get additional clients, as opposed to, and honestly, that should be a part of their marketing, because most people will come to a course first, and if they like the course, then they'll take the one-on-one coaching. So you make yourself a part of their process, and they can envision how that works, then you get a client. But you have to ask questions based on the problems that you solve for the coach. Does that make sense?
Yes, but how do you go from it being like a coffee chat where you were talking about kind of like asking questions about them to then, kind of talking about what you do and how you can help them, if that makes sense?
Questions are the answers. Questions are the answers. If you taking notes, write this down. Questions are the answers. Smart people ask smart questions. So the questions that you ask will lead them down that path, because you're asking questions, number one, that no one else is asking. And you're asking questions based on, you have a customer journey that you're going on. So I need to ask these questions to assess if you are a good fit for me to help, to see if I can actually help you, and if you're the type of person that I want to help, that I can be around. So as you ask the questions, the conversation will kind of flow on its own. So I challenge you to make a list of questions that you need to know that'll give you more insight into their business. And then just ask the questions.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Oleg.
Hey, Jason, good to see you. Thanks for all the info and everything. As always, top notch. Question I have is I think a lot of people probably you know what I sell, so I'm not gonna go over that. So the question is, get in front of somebody who is a business owner who is busy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can help you with, okay, you got 5 minutes. Okay, I don't have much time. 5 minutes, go. So in other words, you don't have the opportunity to quote unquote build the relationship. You don't really have opportunity to show your authentic self beyond just talking to them. The guy said you have 5 minutes, go. So you know he's really busy. He's looking at his watch. There is no time to, it's not like a little chit chat over coffee or getting into one of these meetings like this. How do you deal with that kind of environment?
I don't. Do not, ever. I am not here to try to sell you and pitch you anything. I'm here to help you, and I can't help you in 5 minutes. So in the time that we have, let's have a conversation and let's see if this is a good fit for both of us. So we don't want clients that'll put us in a situation to be uncomfortable, and now I have to figure out a way for you to like me. There are so many people for you to service that actually need your help, and you can build these relationships with. So don't compromise yourself trying to build a relationship with somebody just for the sake of getting a client.
Yeah, but in my case, it kills a tremendous amount of the market that way.
Good, kill it. You don't need the whole market anyway.
Okay.
And keep in mind, 60% of the market, they won't do business with you regardless. So that only leaves that 40%. And within that 40%, you want to find the people that you can connect with. You can't service all of that 40%. So this is why it's so important to build relationships. So in the beginning, before there is even a conversation about how can I help you? But I am a real person, you are a real person, and I want you to win. And I'm going to use my expertise to help you win. So now let's see what that looks like, and let's have a conversation about it. If you've connected with them, now they're ready to have that conversation, and then they'll go into detail about the problems that they're having. But in 5 minutes, you can't even uncover the problems that you can solve.
Right.
So let's just say, you know, they're saying they're having website connectivity issues, and then their back end isn't working, and they want to put in automation. You have 30 minutes of questions to ask just about that. So there's no way we can fast forward this process to fit into that window that they have. That's unrealistic expectations. So you being the expert, you have to tell them in the beginning, like that's not feasible. Be the expert. Now we can't do it in 5 minutes. So do you want to book another time, or do you want to find some kind of microwave engineer? Because that's not how I work.
So basically, you're saying you walk in, you see it's one of these situations, just go to the next place.
Yeah, if they don't bend. So when people act like that, usually they're trying to position themselves to be this guy. So once you are not impressed by them being that guy, they'll go, oh, okay, you're a real person. I like real people. and then now they'll start to open up and have the conversation. But so keep in mind, a lot of people, especially when the CEOs of these larger companies, somebody is always pitching them. Somebody's always trying to sell them something. So when you show up genuinely trying to help, and then you're not, no, I'm not doing the 5 minute thing. I can't help you in 5 minutes. Once you give an actual professional opinion as an expert, then now you're starting to earn that respect. And most importantly, you are showing your own self-worth and your value. Now, I'm not putting myself in this position. So,
yeah, but that's the big corporations. What about little restaurants with mom and pop shops?
They shouldn't have that kind of attitude. You can't have that kind of attitude as a mom and pop shop.
They do, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, so you have to put yourself in a position to win. Have conversations with people who want to have the conversation. And if they do not, then oh well, then that just means they're part of that 60%, and we let them go. Yeah, KC.
What's up? Hey, it's Oleg. I'm trying to hit on a couple of things. I don't necessarily have a question, but boy, I want to piggyback in what you're saying and how valid it is. Oh, sometimes you just got to cut bait. Quickly, I remember a big VP of a company took me a number of months to get an appointment with him. Went in the office, whatever. He was answering the phone, assistant coming in, doing all that, and then finally he looked at his watch and said, "You got 15 minutes. Well, you got." I closed up my briefcase and I walked away. I said, "Unless you have another time, this is not going to work for either one of us."
That's it.
He stopped me. He said, "Okay, Alan, hold my call, blah, 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 blah." And we sat down and started talking. After 15 minutes, I looked at my watch and said, "Okay, do you have, what questions do you have?" He said, "Put your watch down." Ultimately, I ended up, he became one of my bigger clients. We had about a 25-year relationship. I was in the cell phone business back then, selling a commodity, but I was also selling, I can give you back time. What you've told me is that you got other issues that I can.
Okay, hold on, Casey. You're going kind of long in this story.
I'm sorry. But my point is, it's okay to cut bait.
Yeah, definitely.
It's okay to cut bait, and because he was in that, he was in the 60%, but I did get him to the 10%. But it took that 15 minutes ended up being an hour and 10 minutes.
Awesome. That's good stuff. Good stuff. EG.
Sorry, brother.
Oh, no problem.
I do have a question, but Oleg poked the hornet's nest, so I have to say something. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. I'm a rabid student of marketing. So lots of people do this very effectively, that they have a 10 to 15 minutes pre-qualifying session. But I even pre-qualify them before they get to that 10, 15 minutes session, because they have to fill out a form and there are pre-qualifying questions. If they don't answer it the way that shows that they are the right client, they don't even get the 15-minute session. And then in the 15-minute session, we identify their needs. And if the needs are there and they are willing to invest the budget that is needed for that, then I set up a 45-minute to an hour session with them.
Yeah,
That's just a side note, piggybacking on Oleg. For Alignable, what is your suggestion on how do you talk to your ideal client if you have 2 or 3 different services? I mean, like mine, they connect, but they are different. Like I sell assessments, but I also sell public speaking engagements.
Yeah.
And I sell my assessments to them, but I do it separately also.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, are they all within the same company?
Yes. So
okay, cool. So as you put out content, you're going to speak to each market segment. So you're going to speak to the problems of the one segment and everything they have going on, and then to the different one. People will recognize when you're talking to them. You know, in your ideal customer, you should be speaking directly to the people that you want. So you would have to word it in a way to where what problem that's common among all 3 market segments, and you talk about those problems and just pull them in to the next step of the customer journey. And then when they get to that next step, now we can break it into the different segments. Once we get to the website, or once you get to the content, you can speak more specifically to them.
And that's what problems does it solve? Because each of them, actually, the assessments and the public speaking and the coaching solves the same problem. So I can start with that and then break it up in the 3 services, perhaps in the about section.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Laura.
Okay, so I'm a coach who works with people trying to deal with unhealthy habits, and specifically, mostly about alcohol and sugar. But so I'm struggling with trying to find where my authentic market or my market is, because I think they're kind of everywhere, but they're hiding. I don't have a problem being authentic once I find them, or they find me.
Okay. So targeting is a whole process.
Yeah, I know.
But
should come back.
Okay, there we go. That was weird. So targeting is a process. But it starts with you and who you want to work with. So who do you want to work with? What problems do they have? right? And then you start that conversation. And then as you're having that conversation with, it'll get more and more defined. There's a lot we can do as far as market research wise to kind of dig into it deeper. But that's a process that I can't
Okay,
even
yeah,
explain it all.
right now I'm trying to just kind of put content on my personal Facebook page to drive people to my business Facebook page and website. So I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah. Let's connect. We can talk about that deeper because that's
Okay,
that's the process.
Yeah, no kidding.
YFS. YFS. Going once, going twice. All right, we'll come back to Y. Anthony.
Hi. Oh, sorry.
Oh, here she is. Here she is. Go ahead, Y.
So I'm doing marketing for an oral surgery practice, and you know, I do call and try to meet the dentists who refer us. What would be some other ideas to build your, you know, clientele with that? If you've had any experience with oral surgery practices or dental practices.
So you have the same problem as Laura. You have to do some targeting. Once you have target exactly where these oral surgeons are, pick a platform where you can reach out to them, and then you just have the conversation. Are you spending any time on LinkedIn and Alignable looking for oral surgeons?
Well, we are an oral surgery practice, and usually the general dentist sends us patients. So yeah, I've just joined Alignable, and I am reaching out to doing some offline marketing by bringing them coffee and stuff, and then trying to set up lunches with the oral surgeon. But is there any other ways that I can generate more patients and build a stronger referral base?
So are you looking for patients or are you looking for other oral surgeons?
No, we are an oral surgery practice. We're looking for patients. So usually the way it works is a general dentist will refer the patient to oral surgery because oral surgery is a specialty of dentistry.
Okay. So that sounds like two different market segments. So one market segment is you want to go after the patients themselves, and the other is you want to go after general dentists. So you have to build relationships along the way. So your content should talk to the regular person, and it should talk to dentists too. And then where you have these conversations matter. So more of a corporate conversation you're going to have on Alignable and LinkedIn. And then when you're talking to the regular public, it's a Facebook, Instagram conversation.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anthony.
How you doing? My name is Anthony. I'm an audio engineer. This is my first time here, so thank you for having me here. So my question is, this is kind of crazy that I ran across this this Zoom earlier in the day. I said, yeah, I need this because this is my first year going as a full-time, going with my business, my LLC. I'm still in college for audio engineering, but naturally coming out of the hospital field, I said, you know what, I'm going to rack up all of these different services, kind of like what EG was saying before. But naturally, I said, you know what, I'm going to rack up all these different services. And I most recently realized that every time that I talk to a potential client or somebody that I would like to be a client or a partner, I mention everything all at once. I'm hungry because I got bills to pay. I got my kids. I got naturally, I'm just like, all right, let's go. I got to let you know everything is here. I do it all. So how would you how would you advise me to go at it more of a business person, I would say, or if you have any advice, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. First off, congratulations on owning yourself and starting your own company, man. That's a big deal. You know, just stay with it. So it's natural for you to say, hey, listen, I got it all. Don't go nowhere else, right? And we all have found ourselves where we're just trying to get clients, hey, whatever we got to do. All right, listen, I'll cut the price in half, but you got to sign this contract for a little bit longer. Whatever we got to do. So that's natural. But what I want to challenge you to do is have confidence in your ability. You're not just an engineer. you know, you the guy. I'm Anthony Robinson. So I need you to show up as that. Me engineering your songs and your tracks way different than you getting somebody that doesn't have my ear. So I need you to have that confidence, right? And once you get lost in the music, now it's a whole different thing. So, all right, how many tracks are we working on? You know, how far have you gotten to this arrangement so far? You know, or am I just mixing and mastering, or do we need to create something else? So as you start asking questions about what they have done already and what they need, all you're doing is exposing how much they don't know about the process. So just talk to them about the process. Smart people ask smart questions. So as you ask questions and you get lost in it, they'll go, oh yeah, this is the guy. I don't want nobody else, right? So questions are the answers. So you don't have to audition yourself and tell them why you are great and all of the services that you provide. Just ask them about the problems that they're having, and then tell them what they need to do to fix them. And you are the answer. Does that help?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Awesome. My pleasure. Audio Alliance.
Hey, how you doing? God bless. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Man, what's going on? I think this is a little favoritism. You picked two audio guys right after each other.
Hey, you two were thinking at the same time, got in line together.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I don't want to make it a race thing, but I do want to say blessings, Black man. I love to see what you're doing, and great information. On top of that, very rich information. And so just like the previous person, I came across this on the Lineable, and I mean, just awesome. God put it in my path. I'm so glad I joined. I'll be leaving you a review after this. So my question is kind of what was brought up earlier, but kind of two-part. So one, how dealing with what I've been finding is my clientele, I've been having a confidence. So because I went through different stages in business, I kind of found you late. And so my situation was I bumped my head for a while and figured out, hey man, I need to stop trying to sell myself to people and have the confidence. And so just probably within the last year, I've actually been doing that because I said, hey, why am I selling myself? I know what I'm doing. And then it got to the point where I didn't necessarily have a problem with getting the clients or gaining the clients, but I would always run into difficulties dealing with some of the people that was behind the clients. And so my question would be, is it the same that if the client is let's say a good client, but because in my field, what I do is I do kind of similar to what the previous gentleman is doing, but I do live sound. And so I deal with, a lot of different, musicians. And I mean, I deal with everybody personnel wise, just a lot of different characters. And a lot of times I'll find that within that group, there's always somebody that's, want to give me a hard time because I also offer training for audio as well. So I kind of go in and teach them how to work the soundboard, how to EQ, how to compress, and, everything like that. And usually I'll find there may be somebody in the mix that may be salty because they brought me in, you know what I mean? And a lot of times they're given a hard time.
Tell me your question.
What is that client somebody that I let go and walk away from that situation if I've already notified that client? Because I've come across it surprisingly a couple of times where the client was okay, but the people that they were under were difficult to work with.
So I like this question. You have to do what's best for you. Don't put yourself in an environment that's uncomfortable for you. So we tend to chase work and chase clients. And in doing that, we put ourselves in crazy situations because we've compromised who we are to try to fit into what they got going on because we needed the money at the time. What happens is as you build your brand and as you get clients, you get more confident, and it's like, I'm not accepting these situations, right? But if you do it all the time, this is how I work. This is the environment that I thrive in. If these things are going on, I don't want to be a part of that because now we can't be professionals. We can't put on the best show possible because it's all this animosity and weird stuff going on. So I don't work well in that environment. So I don't work in that environment. And so a lot of that is just, you got to protect yourself from toxic situations.
Is that something worth putting in the contract? Because I did do that recently. I added that portion that if, you know, the situation, not only they're responsible to client, they're responsible for the people that a lot of times, let's say, for instance, it may be an organization that hires me to come in and train their employees.
I get it. Let me
You know
answer the
what I
question
mean?
for you. So yeah, put it in your contract, and speak to the conduct of both you and the client. Here are the expectations of what we have. Here's the standard that I set. Once they sign the contract, they know what it is in the very beginning.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Chris.
Had to figure out how to unmute. Jason, thank you. Really good information. Two quick things. One of the things I found that works for me is when I reach out to people and instead of selling them something, I'm looking to find ways to help them. How can I be a good referral source for you? And everybody I talk to goes, well, gee, yeah, I'd love to talk to you about that. Come on by my office. In fact, I'll come to your office. And so that's one of the things that I've seen that works for me. I don't know if that's something you've incorporated into your business or not. But the question I had was, you mentioned you need to overcome negative thoughts. And I know we don't have a lot of time. Can you dive a little bit deeper into that? Just because what I encounter in the world is a lot of people who can't overcome their negative thoughts. It's one thing to tell people to do it. It's another thing to give them the tools to help them. And sometimes they might even need to see a therapist or something.
Okay.
What do you, how do you dive a little bit deeper into that, if you don't mind? Thanks, Jason.
Sure. Great question. Great question. So we are our own worst critics. A lot of times we're looking at what we're doing and it's not that great because we're comparing ourselves to somebody who has more experience or just an easier path or something, right? And when things get difficult, these thoughts creep into our head of, man, should I be doing this? You know, should I just go get a regular job, right? So you have to be able to get past that and turn that off. And this is why we have all of these reminders, right? This is why we put our degrees behind us. And this is why we have all this dope stuff in our office to remind us of who we are so that we can stay confident and stay in the fight. Confidence is a very fleeting thing depending on what's going on, right? One of my favorite basketball players, Steph Curry, greatest shooter ever, right? Of all time. He had a game in the playoffs one year where he went 1 for 17 and then he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. So he was able by the very next game, able to get that confidence back. He didn't look at it like, okay, I used to be a great shooter and now I'm not. It was, I had a bad day. Let me get back in the game. Let me get in the gym. Let me feel good about myself and remind myself of who I am. And sometimes we just need that reminder and look at your accolades, look at the things that you have, right? Be grateful for the progress that you've made because where you are now is way different from where you used to be, you know? So we have to be able to reset that in order to stay confident. And it's super important that you don't dwell on these things. And this is why, like Chris said, therapy is a good thing. That Limitless book is awesome. There are so many books that you can read, so many videos that you can watch that'll help you shake off those negative thoughts. Going to be around people, if you're extroverted, go be around some happy people and you get that out of your head. So all of these things go together. You have to figure out individually what do you need to reset yourself when you feel your mind going that way. Who was next? Edward.
Yeah, Jason, excellent content, man. This is, I'm like the other two guys. I just stumbled across this morning and jumped on, and I'm glad I am. Awesome. One quick question and a comment. First, I'm coming from as a W-2 employee, spent 30 years in the pharmaceutical space, and now I'm headed into 1099 as a realtor. What's your thoughts on just the mindset of going from an employee to a self-employed person? What would be your thoughts of the best way to go through this?
It's an excellent question. Number one, you are the boss now. Nobody is going to tell you what to do and how to do it. You know, number two, you do not have to fill 8 hours of and work, and then work some more, and then work some more. That is not the goal of owning your own business. We own our own business because we want to control our own destiny. We want some autonomy, right? So let's build this our way so that it works for us. And lastly, you do not have to know everything. There are all kind of coaches and consultants and virtual assistants. Start building a team. You do not have to know everything. Do not go take a marketing class. Connect with people like me. There's a lot of marketing people out here. Find the people who you like their energy and they believe in your process and they want to actually help you win. Work on those things and you'll be fine.
Cool. And thank you so much. Last question. How do I connect with you?
I'm just send me a connection request right here. I'm going to put a link in the chat for you all to, if you want to sign up to my newsletter and stay connected. I'm putting out a bunch of great information. So I'll add that to the chat in just a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. Vanique.
Hi, Jason. Thank you for your platform. And you pronounced my name right. That's rare. I'm being 100 about that. Usually I change it to Nikki to make it easy for everybody. So my question is, when I don't even call it selling, like you say, I'm literally having a conversation. I'm having that awkward space because I don't believe in the social media platforms for my industry because I do care. It works for others. So for me, my question is, I'm having that complex of overkill of emails, newsletters, and that's just on my end. So for me, I want to create a different way of doing that and reaching my target audience. What do you recommend when you're having that imbalance and trying to break the mold a little bit when it comes to businesses?
As far as connecting with people?
Yes.
So that's a great question. I'm just me. So some marketing people will tell you that you need to put out all of this content. You should be posting 3-4 times a day on all of these platforms. But the average person sees 72,000 pieces of content per day. So if you're putting out content that often, you're just a part of the noise. Nobody's really paying attention to that. So it's a quality over quantity kind of thing. So when you're connecting with people, you want them looking for you. So if you're talking all the time, then nobody's listening. But when you do put out content, if it's valuable, if it feels good, now when you put out the next thing, and it's like, hey, that's Vanique. The last thing that she posted was dope. And then let me follow and let me like, and this is how you can start to build your tribe and build your audience. It's like that as far as connecting with potential customers, strategic partners, referral partners. People look for good energy. So as long as you have good energy and you solve the problem and you're pleasant to be around, then you'll naturally attract people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I just was toying with it. Like you said, a lot of people are giving me 1,000. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I hate all these emails coming through. I don't know about you, but I'm not going.
No, I get it. I get it. You know, you don't ever want to be part of the noise. You know, okay, so listen, we're right at the top of the hour. If you gotta sign off, thanks for coming. I hope I brought some value to you today. I put a link in there to sign up for my newsletter if you want to connect. Most of you, if I'm not already connected with you, I'll send you a connection on Alignable. If you still got questions, I don't want to leave the people who still got questions. I'll hang out for a few. And if you all want to hang out with us, you're more than welcome. All right. Danny. All right, we'll come back to Danny. Josephine.
Hi, Jason. First of all, thank you so much for the invite and also for a really great presentation. I'll just have a quick question. I put it in the chat, but I wanted to say it out loud. So I'm Josephine. I'm just now getting into the business development sales cycle for my job. So I work at 16x9. We're a presentation design firm. And I've been watching a lot of marketing videos and reading a lot of marketing books and things like that. And the quick question that I have is, one, how do you feel about cold calls and what time of day is best for the cold calls? And then 2, do you think, or do you recommend leaving voice messages for those cold calls or just trying them back at a later time?
Okay, let me ask a question with the question. When was the last time somebody called you that you didn't recognize and you answered the phone?
Well, because I actually I was a consultant, so I was always waiting for a call for like my next job. I always answer my phone, but my best friend never answers her phone. So yes, I see both sides.
Yeah, yeah. So if we're talking about business people, and you're calling them at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and not available. And if they are available, they don't want to start a new conversation that they're not prepared to have. You know, so you're calling for a very specific reason. And if I'm not in the mindset to feel this conversation, then I don't want to have this conversation. So I am 1000% against cold calling. Stop doing it. So I come old school. I'm finna date myself. So I used to work at a radio station, and on my first day, I'm in the conference room, and I was supposed to have gotten this client list that they had ready for me. And that's how they got me to sign up to be to go over there, because I was working at a different company. So I get over there and I'm meeting with the general manager, and I was like, yeah, so where's my list? And he goes, oh yeah, let me go get it for you. So he walks out the room, he comes back and he threw a phone book at me, a yellow page. I was like, there you go, smile and dial, right? So cold calling then was tough because people still had caller ID, right? Ever since the invention of caller ID, that was the death of cold calling. A lot of people still do it. A lot of people get results, but if at best you're going to get a 2% conversion rate, meaning if we call 100 people, only 2 people are going to actually want to talk to you. So let's not waste that time. It's going to take a whole day to call 100 people. So how about we go out and build our brand? And we build our brand in a way that attracts our tribe to us. It attracts the people who need our services, our products, because they're out here looking for it already. And because you're a dope and you're a good person, the things that you like, I'm probably going to like too. So when you talk about those things, I can connect with you, and now you're not everybody else. So as you build your personal brand, you open the door for this conversation, and the things that you post in your content, that keeps that conversation going, and it makes you not everybody else, because I like the same things that you like. Hey, we got the same kind of core values, you know. So the whole point is you want to not only start to build awareness, but you want to start earning trust too, and showing your value. So as you have the conversation, as you put out the content, you're talking about things that probably nobody else is talking about in the way that you're talking about it. So let's attract people in. And then when you go to networking events, you know, you have this glowing personality that I can hear already, and you don't even have your video on. So be you as you interact with people. Be 100% authentic. You don't have to cold call. There's so many ways to do this. So when we talk about Alignable and LinkedIn, we can create a lead list from LinkedIn with 200-300 people in it in your local area that are potential clients. But we're not going to cold call them. We're going to start create an avenue to start building relationships. So what is it about you that I like? And let's connect and let's start this conversation, and we can start building. The beauty of doing all of this digitally is you can have that conversation running with all 400 of those people at the same time, as opposed to picking up the phone and trying and hoping that somebody answers. So in my opinion, stop cold calling, start building your brand, start your outreach on these platforms, and you'll start connecting with so many more people better. So in this room today, we had 200 people. So there's another 199 people that you have an opportunity to connect with because you came to this event. So now you have something to talk about other than pitching a product, right? So yeah, I went to that event. And it was great, and I like Jason. And let's see what else he got going on. I'll meet you at the next event. So now as we start going to events, you start to see familiar faces. We have networking events coming up. Make sure you all stay tuned for that. And it'll grow and build, and it'll be awesome. But more importantly, you're building your personal brand based on good energy, as opposed to you trying to randomly call somebody who has the problem that you can solve. Like the odds of that aligning is crazy. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I want to give you all a heads up. I probably should have said this earlier before people start leaving. I'm doing another event next week on the 21st. I haven't posted it yet. I'm going to post it today. It's called Networking with a Purpose. And I'm going to explain the mindset of what you should be going through while you're networking. That's going to be dope. I think that one is going to be particularly fun because we haven't talked about that yet. We've talked about the sales stuff a few times, but that's going to be at the same time next week. I'm going to post it in just a few minutes. Just the heads up. Anyone else has any questions, comments?
I have a question. My name is Marilyn.
Okay, Marilyn.
Hi. Thank you for your work today. I've been doing a lot of homework, and I'm an attorney, and I did some homework. I know my audience. I'm thinking about doing a podcast. I even bought the microphone, but I got, I'm kind of frozen. And I'm ready to create a web page and start with the lead list stuff, but I feel like I'm kind of stuck, I don't know how. And then another thing that's been happening to me is strangers have started calling me, emailing me, asking for help. But I was very suspicious because I don't know. I just had a feeling it was a scam. Now I'm a lawyer and they're asking for help, but I kind of felt like it was a scam a couple of times. So I kind of didn't respond. Is that crazy? I just felt like it was a scam. Why is this person calling me, contacting me? I did not say that I did this type of work. Where did they get my name? I don't know.
Okay. That sounds a little weird.
I think it's, what do you mean? That I think it was a scam?
Because no, it sounds a little weird that people are randomly calling you for problems that you don't. So how did they get to you? So were you a part of some kind of event and they met you there, or
no, actually I had pulled out of alignment a while ago because I felt overwhelmed like that other woman. She said she was overwhelmed by the emails. So I stopped becoming a member of alignment, and I just started picking and choosing who could reach out to me. But my concern is because now I'm ready to, go public as far as my new business I want to do. But I did have that concern about people reaching out to me randomly about doing certain types of cases that I didn't advertise that I did. And I was like, who is this? And why are they reaching out to me? Because there are a lot of scams out there. And not only lawyers have to be careful, but other people do too in general. So, I mean, what do you think about that?
I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that question. So that's not necessarily a marketing and sales thing. That sounds more if it's happening all the time and it feels like a scam, then yeah, don't participate. So we don't want to put ourselves in a situation that that's potentially dangerous to our business, and if we can't find how we made this connection or where they came from or what their intent is, then yeah, it's something kind of shady about that whole process. So I would explore it enough to kind of figure it out. But if it doesn't add up to you, let it go. Keep going.
Hey,
yeah,
Jason,
I did that.
Jason, do you need a little help with this potentially or not?
Say that again.
Would you like some help with this or not?
With which what part?
With this question.
What I want you to do, Olak, is connect with Marilyn, because we are always networking, y'all. We are always networking. I want you to reach out to Marilyn because she probably needs your help. And now you can have more than a 5-minute conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll connect with you, Marilyn. We can talk about it. I can help.
Outstanding.
All right. Thank you.
Marietta.
Hey, It's Marita. Thank you so much for this.
Marita.
Yeah, thank you so much for this information today. So what I do is a local family-oriented magazine that I get businesses to sponsor. And how we were trained was cold calling. And I have had some success with it. But just walking into an office, I find way harder. I try to avoid that. So when you mentioned about the networking, the online networking, how do you suggest I go about that? My target market is local businesses. So someone in California, what I do, you might have a publisher out there, but for me, they wouldn't work.
So what you're a magazine?
Yes.
So you're looking for advertisers?
Correct.
Okay, I used to work in advertising. I'm finna blow your mind. We finna hit this one out the park.
Okay.
So within your target area, let's talk about the area first. So you can quick Google search and find all the businesses that are in that area. You know, you can even break it down more specifically on LinkedIn and search specific industries that you want to target. Then you can start building out campaigns to talk to each industry. And then now when I'm talking to this industry, I'm telling them the value of being in this magazine and what the magazine exposure from the magazine will bring to you in your industry. So here's how I solve your problems for your industry with my magazine. Okay. You can do that by industry for everybody in your area. And then now you have an actual lead list that's viable, that's actionable, that you can start connecting with people and having a conversation.
I'm new to LinkedIn. Are you saying that, and I have an account set up, I just did that last week. So are you saying there's a way to build campaigns on there that where I can talk to multiple individuals at once about my service?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Right in the messages. You know, I'll send you a connection request and we'll talk about it.
Awesome.
I can help you. I got you. That's an easy one.
Really? Oh, awesome. Thank you. Huge.
I want to tell you all too. I forgot to mention this. I have another group. It's a paid group here on Alignable. It's called the Smile Network. It stands for Sales and Marketing Innovative Learning Experience. And what we're doing is having these conversations all the time. I'm coaching all the time on this is how you build your brand. This is how you should have this conversation. Additionally, what does this customer journey look like? And how does marketing and sales go together? But it's not me just giving lectures. I'm all about practical application. You know, what's the point in the theory? You know, so how can we use it and what's the next step? So if I put a link in there for you all to check it out. I would have done you all a disservice had I forgot that. I almost feel bad that I forgot this law. Then,
as a person that is in this group, I think all of y'all would benefit from the Smile Network. I see Jason too many times a week, but it's all worth.
That's right. That's right. Jerry is in the group. Jerry is in the group. We have a good time. Danny.
Yes. Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
That was a great presentation. Even though me and you have a upcoming one-on-one, I still want to have this question. Ask this question. Mm-hmm. I come from a technical background. I know you heard this already. And going to this networking event, like I said, I always feel intimidated. I know you say build confidence first, and once you know what you're doing, confidence will come as second. I know what I'm doing, and I have the confidence. But talking to someone, having a conversation with somebody, and you can feel the person is going somewhere. You can see the person's mind is going somewhere. How you bring them back and keep them focused on what you want to see. Some people don't have all day long to hear a presentation. I made that mistake the other day when I had a client and I was making the conversation, and I can feel that the person is getting bored. So I'm trying to have a 5-minute conversation with them, 5-minute presentation with them, so they can go straight to the point. But I keep on losing their interest throughout the conversation. So how do I do about it? And one thing that I did to fix it is during the first discovery call, I try to get to know them at the personal level first, get them to like me. And then at the second conversation, then I can go about telling them about what I do and what I can help them. And I tried it as well, and it hasn't worked. So what do you think I should do? If I should work on my branding or what it is I'm doing wrong?
I think you should stop trying to sell it. You're trying to sell it. You're trying to convince them that they need it. Here's how I can help you. Let me show you this dope presentation that I put together. And look at all the slides that I got that show you how great I am. And you're going to lose them because they don't care. How does this solve my problem? Hey, Danny, I came on here because I'm trying to build the back end of my business. I don't need this part of it. So they're going to tune out until you say something that it's like, okay, I need that part. So the whole point is having a conversation. And once you start asking questions about where they are, now you can give them the information that they need, as opposed to here's everything that I can do. Anthony was saying the same thing. He was doing the same thing, where it's like, here's everything that I can do. Here's all the services that I have. Pick out the ones that you need and then cut me a check. That's not how you should do business. But it's here's where you are. Here's where you're trying to go. Here are the problems that I see that you're having. I can solve these problems. Here's what it'll look like. Now, here's what life is like without these problems for you. When do you want to start? And once that resonates, then I want to start today because I don't want these problems. And you're the expert at solving the problem. So let's get going. So questions are the answers. So if you find yourself talking more about you and then you are asking questions about them, then you're already backwards in the conversation. The whole point is for them to understand what's going on in their business that they probably didn't even see before they started talking to you. But now that they're talking to you, you're uncovering all kinds of things that you are an expert at fixing, and this is what makes you valuable to them. And that's what makes them want to move forward. But if you're just telling them all the bells and whistles, and I can do this thing, and I can do this thing, and I can do email marketing and SMS, and we can build workflows, and we can do all these things, they don't even know what all of that means, let alone how it applies to their business. But if you say, hey, listen, I can keep you in contact with the customers that you already have. I can keep you in contact with your potential customers. And we're not sending out a bunch of spam, but we're having a real conversation. And we can do that via email or text message, but not all the time. We're going to build it in a way that it feels good to you and it feels good to your customer. And they know that you care about it. All right, well, tell me more about that. Right? So it comes down to how you position it and the questions that you ask 100% of the time.
I love it. I love what you're saying. You say you make it seem so easy, but in practice, it's not as easy.
But I make it seem easy because I've been doing this for an eon. So as you get practice in it, and more importantly, as you build out your the customer journey, when you know what's coming next before you get there, then now it's easier to do. I like to use sports references, right? And when you watch, there was a video I was watching. They were talking about Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan told a guy that he was going to dunk on him in the third quarter, right? And he was like, in the third quarter, like, man, whatever. So what Michael Jordan did was post up, fade away, pull up, jump shot, head fake, and then he jumped on the jump shot, took 2 dribbles and dunked on him. He's like, I told you I was going to dunk on him. So the guy checking Jordan didn't know what was coming. Jordan knew what was coming. He already had a plan. So now only thing that you have to do is execute once you have a plan. Hope.
Okay. Hi, Jason, and thank you for this valuable information you're sharing with us.
Okay.
So I just need for you to show me an example, especially if you're trying to create your brand like on LinkedIn.
Say that one more time.
Can you give me an example of creating your brand on LinkedIn?
So your brand is your brand, regardless of the platform. Who you are is who you are. We're just using LinkedIn as the avenue to reach a particular audience. So it's not different based on where you are.
Okay, so is the example like just posting something on LinkedIn, or is it more than that?
What are you posting?
Like, let's say if I'm trying to talk about launching a new service.
Why would anybody care?
Why would anybody care?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know they're gonna need it.
Why do they need it?
And they're gonna like it from me.
Why do they need it?
Why do they need it?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're gonna see it's valuable.
Why is it valuable?
Because I'm valuable.
Why are you valuable?
Because I have something that they don't have that I can offer them.
What is that?
Okay. Well, basically, I'm a singing telegram service, and I know I'm unique, one, because of my voice, and two, because I'm actually strictly doing it online, and I'm creating an experience for them to have.
Okay. So how does that help me in my day-to-day operation?
How does that help you?
Mm-hmm.
Because you get to enjoy a spectacular experience with me that you will never have with anybody else.
So what problem does that solve for me?
What problem does that solve?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, it's not. Well, the problem that it solves, if you was having like a bad day, and if you meet me, then that I can change that around, and you won't have to worry about having a bad day anymore. You know, because
What if my client is having a bad day? Can I get your service I send a singing telegram to my client?
For sure.
Okay, that solves the problem, right? So you have to create something of a valid business reason on why you help me, how you help me, how do you make my job easy, how do you make my life easy. If what you do doesn't make me better, then I don't need you.
Okay.
Regardless of the service, right? So when we talk about brand building, you're talking to a very specific person, a very specific audience. I can help you in this area. So if you have great relationships with your clients, and one of them is having a bad day, and you give them a singing telegram of their favorite song on this day, what does that do to that relationship between you and that client?
What does it do? Wait a minute, I can't hear you.
Hold on, let me we're echoing somewhere. I think I'm echoing. So when I'm talking, I'm gonna mute you, and then you hit the mute button to talk again. Yep, that fixed it. So when we're talking about branding, we have to solve a problem. It has to be something that a need that you're fulfilling. So you're just putting out content doesn't mean anything. Now it's just noise to everybody if it doesn't apply to me, if it doesn't help me. But if it applies to me and it helps me, then now I can use it. And I need you to tell me the capacity of what you can do. So this is why I say questions are the answers. So when you're talking to people on LinkedIn, you need to do some polls on what's going on this platform that you can be the answer to. How can you bring a lighter mood or some better energy with your services to whatever group that you want to target? So what if you get a client that has several offices, and then they have you doing singing telegrams from the CEO to the CFO to the middle manager, and now you're ingrained in this company? You know, so you have to build these relationships, but you have to create that avenue to get there. They have to see that vision of how you make life easier, make life better. But if you say, hey, here's the thing that I do and you need it, why do I need it? You know, what is it about this that's great, that's gonna make my life easier, that's gonna make me more money or increase morale? What's the overall benefit from doing business with you? Once you figure that part out, now it's an easier conversation. Does that make sense, Hope?
I understand what you're saying, but let's just focus on LinkedIn. So you're saying reach out to just individuals or reach out to a group?
LinkedIn doesn't matter if your message isn't clear. Okay. Your message has to be clear first. Then we talk about the platform. But LinkedIn is more for if you're looking to target coaches or you're looking to target somebody corporately, individual entrepreneurs, then you're looking to help their business. So how can you help their business?
Okay. But let's say that majority of my friends on LinkedIn are celebrities.
They're what?
Celebrities.
Okay.
So how would I be able to reach out to them?
Do you already have celebrity clients?
I would love to have celebrity clients, but I'm just saying, particularly on LinkedIn, those are my friends.
You're connected with them already?
Yes.
Okay, so I need you to have a conversation with them about what they need from you, how you can make their life better.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of more intimidating. So are you saying, okay, let's just say that the group of my friends on LinkedIn are celebrities. Do I reach out to them all at once or just pick and choose which one I want to reach out to?
Well, the content that you put out they'll all get an opportunity to see it. But you want to have individual conversations so you can talk about their specific needs.
Okay. I understand.
Awesome.
I got it. Thank you.
Hope didn't know she was gonna get all this coaching today. Anybody else got any questions, any comments?
Oh, what happened?
Hi, Jason.
Sing a sample from her. She needs to sing us a little sample before she goes.
Wait a minute, hold on, Audio Alliance. Let me get a wise question.
Hi, Jason. Thank you for your talk today. But I wanted to also ask something related to LinkedIn. So if I were to set a LinkedIn account, does it have to be an individual account, or can I just do it for the oral surgery office, like a business account? Because I'm just doing their marketing for them, but the surgeons would connect with the other doctors. So can it just be a business account and then they connect with the doctors? And can you just elaborate a little on the poll part of it?
Yeah. You would definitely want to create a separate account. You don't want to put their business on your account.
Yeah, so I mean, it could just be a branded, like a logo with the business name and where it's located and stuff. I have an individual account, but I mean, I don't want to use that.
Yeah. You could create a business account just for that. Yeah.
And then what kind of poll would I be creating for, like, what kind of posts? Like, would there be articles related to oral surgery? How do I connect with people and dentists or patients in the area through LinkedIn?
Well, that's going to take some defining. There's no quick answer to that. We got to do some market research. We got to see who exactly we're talking to, where they are in the area. So before you even get to the polling, you got to get your targeting correct first. So who are you targeting, and why are you targeting them, and what problems do you solve? Once you understand that, then now you know what questions to put in the polls.
Okay. So, I mean, I know my target area, like which areas I'm focusing on, and it would generally be a lot of the general dentists and different, like pediatric dentists, different specialities that refer to us. And then the poll would be more like questions on what your needs are, like a survey, basically, correct? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Jerry.
Jason, I have a question about open rates for email marketing.
Okay.
Subject lines, I feel like subject lines can help with your open rate, but I got to figure out a way to get the open rate more than what it is, more than 12%. Because I think it's the average, 26%? That means you got a good open rate?
Yeah, but those are from cold emails. So I feel the same about cold emails.
I don't do cold emails, Jason. Oh, I don't do cold emails. You signed up for the email list, but it's also getting the people who signed up for the email list to open the thing on email.
So the email is just one portion of your marketing. So you got to tell people to look out for the email. If they're not looking for the email, they're not going to open. I get, I don't know, probably 400 or 500 emails a day. And if I'm not looking for it, I'm scrolling for what I was looking for. So you have to tell them, hey, I'm going to email you this, and then they'll go look for that email. And then your open rate should be like 70, 80% if you've connected. You know, I'm a bigger fan of text message. I'm a bigger fan of text messages in life. Don't call me, send me a message. You could have gave me a 2-minute text message, you calling me, wasting up the day. And then I can answer it whenever I get to it. So all of it is a customer journey. So none of these entities work on their own. It's not just email marketing. It's email marketing, it's the text message marketing, it's the content that you're putting out, it's the groups that you create, it's your networking events that you're going to, it's how you participate and how you show up 100% of the time. Everything leads to the next thing. This is your customer journey. So if you get an email from me, you're gonna get something else from me too. You're gonna get a text message. Who signed up for the newsletter already? You already got something, right? so you're gonna get an email, you're gonna get a text message. It's gonna be some follow-up stuff that come after that. I'm gonna invite you to an event that's coming up. You're gonna get some random thing where I say, hey, what's up? And I'm just talking to you. And you're gonna be like, is this a bot or is this really him? so you have all of these things going on at the same time to where people can engage. You know, the goal is, it's not about a flashy headline. It's not about some kind of weird call to action that's gonna make them do stuff. It's about people understanding that you want to help them. And this is me authentically using my skill set to help you. Here's what I got to offer you. I think this will be a good fit for you. I think this will work for you. Hey, remember we was talking, you was talking about taking a trip to Europe? All right, I got something for you. They'll open that email. But if it's just regular marketing stuff, hey, I just want to stay in your face, like the other 72,000 pieces of content you're gonna see today, then they're gonna just scroll past that too. So it's not so much of quantity, but quality. Did that help, Jerry?
Of course it did. What do you feel about CTAs then, since you mentioned them? Because I feel like when you look, well, back in the day when they taught about marketing and sales, it would always have a call to action. But calls to action can be difficult because it's like you don't, because I'm redoing the, know, like, trust. I don't want you to just, you ready to book a vacation? Call me, because it's going to take you a year before you're really ready to book a vacation. I know that. So how do you do simple, like, I don't necessarily want to shove myself down your throat. I just want you to be like, here's this information, but still be engaging.
So call to action is necessary in everything that you put out. You got to tell people what to do next or they won't do anything. So if you send them an email, tell them to go check text message. If you send them a text message, hey, go to the website and look for this. You got to tell them what to do next. So we have to have a customer journey. So your entire customer journey is going to have all of these touch points. So we send them to the next touch point and give them an opportunity to connect a little bit deeper. So for example, this workshop is content for me. This is hero content, right? While we're having this conversation, I'm trying to give you value and good information. If you see the value in the information, when I put up the link and say sign up for the newsletter, then you'll do it. When I put up the link and I tell you about the Smile Network, then you'll do it. When I say, hey, I got another event coming next week, be on the lookout for that, then you'll do it. When I send you a connection request and say, and I want to add you to my network, then you'll do it. So there's always something else coming, but it has to come from a genuine place, not me, hey, listen, it's 57 people left in here. I need 49 of y'all to be clients so that I can make this dollar amount. If that's my motivation, then it's going to be crap. Nobody will like me. Then I'm just a sales guy. And people will know instantly that you're just trying to sell some stuff. But when you're authentic and you're yourself and it's a good conversation and it feels good, and I know from talking to you that you legitimately want to help me be better. Now I'm open to what you have to say. So if that's the motivation and you convey that in all of your marketing, people will come to you. Anybody else? All right, awesome. We got through all the questions. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to post the next event. Like I said, it's going to be networking with the purpose. I'm going to post that in just a few minutes. That's going to be posted in a couple of different groups. All About Networking is where I'm posting that. If you're not in that group, join that group, because that's an awesome group too. So I'm going to post it in the All About Networking group, but it'll go into a bunch. I mean, you'll see it on my page once we connect if we're not connected. If you all need anything, I'm just a message away. Do not hesitate to reach out to me. Have a great rest of your week, and hopefully I'll see you at the next event.
I'll
Take
see
care.
you tomorrow, Jason.
Jerry, I'll see you tomorrow. Anybody join the Smile Network, I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, pleasure. Well,
Hey,
pleasure.
Very valuable.
Jason, quick question. Did you get moved to Charlotte yet?
I didn't move yet. I had to push it back.
Help me.
Okay, thanks, Jason.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Yeah, but
When
I
you
had to push
moving?
it back. We're not going until next month.
Okay. My daughter lives there. That's why I asked, and we're gonna go visit her.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, good job. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, bye.